Greetings everybody, welcome back to the landscape. A very sunny landscape. So the weather today, yeah, it's bright and sunshiny. It is what it is. I've come away for some photography and the weather is what the weather is. Can't change that. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to set myself a challenge. I've found an area of this beach that's deep in shade, so I'm not having to fight bright highlights and harsh shadows. But what I'm going to do is I'm still playing with my Panasonic S5ii camera. And what I'm going to challenge myself to do is use that camera to create 3 images using a section of the rock that's in front of me. And the section I'm going to use is from the line of the shadow, so sort of there, to where my bag is, which is by that lump of rock which is there. So that section, what's that, 3 or 4 meters, something like that. 3 images just using that section. I'm not going to give myself a time limit just in case I struggle. So let's go and have a look at the rock. There's a rock there, there's a little pebble stuck there. Oh, that's quite good, I like all these veins. Okay, how much further can I go? Okay, I reckon we're game on. Okay, so hopefully this one's relatively self-explanatory. There's a white rock with all sorts of textures on it that's been jammed in between these rock structures. And I quite like it. I like it because it contrasts with everything else that's going on around it. I think probably the 70 to 200 is going to be the lens to use. Yep, because even at 70mm. Right, we're going to manually focus. Now I wondered whether a square would be appropriate, but I think probably standard 3x2, sorry, I think this camera is natively. And I don't know whether this is going to come out on the video camera, but there's 2 little white stones just in front of it. I'm actually going to home in on that, which I should be able to do. Ah, there we go. I think you can just about see that. And see the 2 little stones in front of it. It's really quite nice. Yeah, quite like it. The scene, I hope you kind of saw it on the back of the LCD. The scene's quite dark. So compensation wise, just going to brighten it up a wee bit. Yeah, not too much. Plus 1/3 of a stop is all it needs. I'm going to recheck focus, which is going to be right on the end of our pebble. So on the right hand end. And I will then use depth of field preview. Yes, that's what I want. Come on. Yeah, and at f20, I think that's quite nice. Now, what I am going to change is the white balance. Now, I know when you shoot RAW, white balance has no impact. I always shoot RAW plus JPEG. And the reason why I do that is the JPEG gives me a reasonable chance of seeing what it was like. And then when I process the RAW, I've got a memory of what it was like. So ISO 100, I've done focus, 2-second timer, stop blithering hue, and take the picture, 1 second exposure. So let's just replay it. The other thing just to mention was I've deliberately leveled the camera. I know for subjects like this, leveling the camera kind of shouldn't matter, but I think in this instance it does matter because the fish is on an angle. So keeping that angle and keeping that angle natural to my memory, yeah, that's really quite important. So next scene, the next scene is right next door. Okay, so hopefully it's relatively straightforward what's going on here. We've got lines in the rock this way, but in this particular area, we've got some lines coming in the opposite direction. We've also got a mix of colours. So there are browns and oranges showing up in the rock, which contrasts completely with the light grey and the dark grey layers. And I just like the combination of colours and the contrasts between the colours. I've swapped to a different lens. This is my Sigma 28-70 f2.8 Contemporary. The reason for me doing that is I'm still playing with this camera and I want to validate that all of the lenses that I've got will work with this camera and there are no little foibles or idiosyncrasies that I need to consider. So, camera's in portrait orientation this time, principally because this section here, well, it's in portrait naturally. So it just feels right to do it in a similar fashion. I think I've just kicked the tripod. So composition I'm quite happy with actually. I'm going to do depth of field preview. That looks good as well. Yep, in terms of focus point, right, focus point. So the part that's nearest to the camera is actually up here. So I think I can do this using a joystick. Oh, yes I can. Oh, I do like that function. Yeah. Right, and then when I do that, use the manual focus ring, there we go. So now we're just going to check aperture, depth of focus again. That looks good. Histogram looks good. Colors look good. White balance is the same as the previous. I think we just take the picture. Go for it. Boom, boom. Image number 3. For image number 3, I wonder if I could use my ultra wide angle zoom, the 16-28. Let's try it. What the hell? This is an experiment. It's a challenge. In fact then, if I can make that work, that's 3 images using 3 lenses. Right, so off camera, I've had a real play with this. This has probably been the trickiest. Principally because making these veins in the rock work compositionally has actually been quite challenging. Now with all the other scenes, I've wanted to keep the camera level, but on this one, every time I look at these veins, I'm sort of tilting my head over. So I've done that deliberately with the camera. I've actually tilted it as far as the adjustments will go, and I've had to raise the tripod legs ever so slightly on this side just to tilt it even further. I've actually got the LCD screen out this time, principally because it's just a little bit more convenient for me. Focus is fun. I'm not quite sure where to focus, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, but I don't think the focal plane of the camera is absolutely level to the subject. So I think if I focus down here somewhere, I think the surface of the rock like falls away from the plane of the sensor. So I'm going to move the focus point down. Okay, and then manually focus there. That's good. I'll then use depth of field preview. Yeah, as far as I can tell, that's looking good. Histogram, just check the histogram. Yeah, histogram's not brilliant actually. I think because I've got some white in the image. I think put the exposure compensation bang in the middle. I did have it at +3. But all of the quick menu options, everything I've done using this lens is working absolutely perfectly. Got some dirt on it. Right, okay. I think that's as good as I'm going to get it. So, take the picture here. There we go. 3 images, 3 lenses, challenge complete. Let me know what you think of the images in the comments. So I'd say that was challenge successful. I'm very happy with 2 of the images. The last one, the lines on the rock, I think that was probably the weakest. But I keep looking back at those lines in the rock. I think it's something to keep working on, because I do like the idea of, you know, following these lines in rock and potentially being taken on a journey. Maybe that's what was missing there. If we had lines on a rock and they all coincided with a pebble or something, then I don't know, maybe that would have been stronger as a subject. But I really enjoyed the experience. I've enjoyed using my new to me Panasonic Lumix. Can't even see whether it's in frame. I'm getting used to some of its little idiosyncrasies. Certainly it's very different to using it over the FPL. That's not an issue with the camera. That's more of an issue with me, getting used to a different system. But it's done everything I've asked it to do. So excellent. Very, very happy with my purchase and with my spare backup FPL alternative. Anyway, right, so I'm rambling. It's lunchtime. I think it's time to go and find my sandwich. So until we're back out in the landscape again, thank you very much for watching. If you've liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not already a subscriber and you like landscape photography in all weathers, then do consider becoming a subscriber. It's free and you can unsubscribe at any time. Right, I'm off for lunch. Thank you for watching. Take care, stay safe, stay well, and look after each other. Bye for now.